Have you ever stood in a shop and chosen the cheaper one? Two similar things. Same shelf. But one costs less, so you take it. Of course you do. We all do. But did you ever stop and ask, who decided that price? Not you. Not the person at the register. Someone else? Somewhere far away. There is a company that has been making that decision for decades. It does not make the things you buy. It does not grow the food. It does not sew the clothes. But it decides what they cost. And through that power, it shapes the world. Its name is Walmart. And once you see how it really works, you will never walk into a store the same way again. To understand Walmart, you need to go back. Back to a small town. Back to a young man with very little money and a very big idea. His name was Sam Walton. Sam grew up during a hard time in America, the 1930s. Many families had almost nothing. Money was tight. Every cent mattered. Sam learned this early. He learned that people do not waste money when they do not have it, and he never forgot that lesson. As a young man, Sam worked in a store. He watched. He listened. He asked questions. He wanted to know everything: how things were ordered, how they were displayed, how prices were set. Most workers just did their job. Sam studied the whole system. In 1945, he bought his first small shop in Arkansas, a quiet town. Wooden floors, the smell of dust and old paper. Nothing special. But Sam ran it differently from the start. He did one thing that others were not doing. He kept his prices lower than everyone around him. Not a little lower, much lower. He believed that if you sell something cheaper, more people will buy it. And if more people buy it, you make more money in total, even if you make less on each item. This idea sounds simple. But at that time, most shop owners thought the opposite. They wanted to make as much as possible on every single sale. Sam thought about the whole picture. He thought about volume. Sell more. Earn more. Keep prices low. Bring more people in. It worked. By the 1960s, Sam had more stores. By the 1970s, Walmart was growing fast. In 1970, Walmart had 38 stores. Just 10 years later, it had more than 270. The towns were small, the buildings were simple, but the idea inside them was powerful. Sam also did something unusual for his time. He drove himself to his stores. He did not sit in a big office far away. He walked the floors. He talked to the workers. He looked at the shelves himself. He wanted to see everything with his own eyes. A manager once said that Sam could walk into a store and immediately know what was wrong. Not because he was a genius, because he had looked at so many stores, so many times, that nothing could hide from him. He was not building a shop. He was building a system. And it was only just beginning. If you enjoy stories like this one, please subscribe to Calm English Journeys. It helps us make more stories for you. And it means we can keep going together. Sam Walton had his idea. Low prices, more volume, keep going. But an idea alone is not enough. To make it work at a bigger and bigger scale, he needed something more. He needed a machine. Not a machine made of metal. A machine made of information, logistics, and control. The first part of the machine was the warehouse system. Most stores in the 1960s and 1970s worked the same way. A supplier, the company that makes the product, would deliver goods directly to each store. One delivery here, one delivery there. Slow, expensive, hard to manage. Sam changed this. He built large central warehouses. Goods would come into one place first. Then, Walmart would send them out to its stores itself. This gave Walmart something very important: control over the flow of goods, and control over cost. By the 1980s, Walmart had built one of the largest private truck fleets in America. Its own trucks, its own drivers, its own routes. Nothing was left to someone else. But the warehouse system was only the beginning. The second part of the machine was data. In the 1980s, most companies did not think much about data. Computers were new, complicated, expensive. Most shop owners kept records on paper. Walmart invested heavily in technology. It built systems to track exactly what was selling, where, and when. Every item, every store, every day. A box of cereals sold in Texas on a Tuesday morning, Walmart knew about it almost immediately. This meant Walmart could reorder products before they ran out. It could see which items were popular and which were not. It could move faster than any competitor. In 1987, Walmart launched its own satellite communication system, one of the largest in the United States at that time. Information moved instantly between stores, warehouses, and headquarters. The hum of that system, running quietly day and night, connected thousands of locations into one single brain. The third part of the machine, and perhaps the most powerful, was its relationship with suppliers. Imagine you are a small company. You make soap, or biscuits, or children's shoes. One day, Walmart contacts you. They want to sell your product in thousands of stores across the whole country. This sounds like a dream, and at first it is. A mother running a small food company once said that the day Walmart called felt like winning a prize. Orders came in fast. Her factory ran all day and all night. She hired more workers. She was proud. But slowly, things changed. Walmart started asking for lower prices, then lower again. If she said no, they would find someone else. And because Walmart was now her biggest customer, sometimes her only big customer, she could not say no. This pattern repeated itself across hundreds of companies. Walmart did not force anyone to do anything. It simply made an offer. But the offer was so large and the alternative so frightening that most suppliers had no real choice. The machine was not built with walls or locks. It was built with numbers, and it worked better than any wall ever could. The prices kept falling. The shelves stayed full. Shoppers were happy. But somewhere behind that happiness, something else was happening. Something quieter. Something most people never saw. Let us start with the small towns. When Walmart arrived in a town, it did not arrive alone. It arrived with lower prices than anyone nearby could match. The local hardware shop, the family bakery, the small clothing store that had been on the corner for 30 years. One by one, they began to lose customers. Not because they were bad, not because their products were poor, simply because they could not compete with the price. A shop owner in a small town in the American Midwest once said that he watched his customers walk past his window every Saturday morning, going to Walmart. He understood. He did not blame them. But within 3 years, he closed his doors. He had no choice. When the local shops closed, the money changed direction. Before Walmart, people spent in their own town. Money moved from neighbor to neighbor. It stayed close. It built the community. After Walmart, the money moved out, to headquarters, to shareholders, to a system far away that the town had no connection to. The jobs changed too. The local shop owner knew his workers by name. He knew their families. Walmart jobs were different. The pay was low. The hours were unpredictable. Workers were given just enough hours to avoid the benefits the company would have to pay for full-time employees. The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, bright and cold, as workers moved through shifts that changed week to week. Many worked hard and still struggled. Then there were the suppliers. Remember the mother with her small food company? Her story did not end well. Year after year, Walmart asked for lower prices. To survive, she had to cut costs. She bought cheaper ingredients. She reduced the size of her packaging. She let workers go. The product that had once made her proud became something she barely recognized. Some suppliers moved their production overseas, to countries where labor was cheaper, just to keep Walmart's business. They did not want to, but the numbers left them no other path. The hidden cost of cheap was becoming visible, but only if you looked closely. Only if you asked, where did this price come from? Who paid the difference? Because a low price does not mean something cost less to make. It means someone, somewhere, absorbed that cost instead. A worker with a smaller wage. A supplier with a thinner margin. A town with an empty main street. The shoppers kept coming. The carts kept coming. The machine kept running. It was not cruel. It was not illegal. It was efficient. And that, in many ways, made it harder to argue with. Efficiency is easy to measure. What it costs, in people, in places, in quiet losses, is much harder to put a number on. Something strange happened as the years passed. The problems became visible. People wrote about them. Documentaries were made. Protests happened outside Walmart stores. And yet, Walmart kept growing. More stores, more countries, more countries, more customers. How does that happen? How does a system survive its own criticism? The answer is simple and a little uncomfortable. The prices worked. For millions of people, especially people with very little money, Walmart was not a choice between good and bad. It was a choice between eating well and not eating well, between buying school shoes and going without. When money is tight, a lower price is not just convenient. It is necessary, and so people came, and kept coming. By 2002, Walmart became the largest company in the world by revenue. Not a technology company, not an oil company, a shop. The numbers were extraordinary. Over 1 million employees in the United States alone, and more than 4,000 stores across the country. But the more interesting story is what happened next. The world did not just accept Walmart, the world copied it. Other companies looked at Walmart and saw the formula: control the supply chain, use data, push suppliers hard, keep prices low, move fast. They took that formula and built their own versions of it. Costco grew by offering bulk goods at very low prices. IKEA built an entire global furniture empire on the same principle. Design things simply, produce them cheaply, sell them in enormous quantities. And then came Amazon. It took Walmart's obsession with efficiency and moved it online. Same logic. Bigger reach, faster speed. A young warehouse worker in a fulfillment center once described his day. Every item he picked was tracked. Every second was measured. A small screen on his wrist told him where to go next. He moved through long corridors of shelves under pale yellow light, scanning, lifting, placing, moving. He was part of a system so precise that there was almost no room left for being human inside it. He was not working for Walmart, but he was working inside the world Walmart helped build. This is what it means when a model becomes normal. It does not stay in one place. It spreads. It becomes the standard. And once something is the standard, it is almost invisible. We stop questioning it. We simply live inside it. Today, the idea that a product should be as cheap as possible, that a company's greatest achievement is lowering a price by a few cents, feels completely natural. It feels like common sense. But it was not always common sense. It was a decision, made by a man in Arkansas, in a small store with wooden floors, who believed that volume could beat margin and that the customer would always choose the lower price. He was right. And the world reorganized itself around that one belief. The shelves got longer. The stores got bigger. The prices kept falling. And somewhere in the process, cheap stopped being a description. It became a value. Something people believed in. Something people expected. Without ever deciding to, the world had agreed. Think about the last thing you bought. Something small, perhaps. A bottle of water. A bag of rice, a pair of socks. You probably do not remember choosing it. You reached for it. It was there. It was the right price. You moved on. This is how most of us live now, surrounded by things, choosing quickly, paying less than people paid a generation ago, and never quite stopping to ask how it all got there. Walmart did not create human desire. People have always wanted more for less. That feeling is old. It is human. What Walmart did was build a system around that feeling, a system so large, so efficient, so deeply connected to daily life, that the feeling and the system became one thing, inseparable. And that is where it gets quiet and worth thinking about. Because a system does not have feelings. A system does not see the supplier who had to let her workers go. It does not see the town with the empty shops. It does not see the warehouse worker moving through pale yellow light, measured to the second. A system only sees what can be counted, and it optimizes for that. Endlessly. We built it, and then we stepped inside it, and slowly the distance between us and it disappeared. This does not make us bad people. The mother who chose the cheaper cereal for her children, she made the right choice for her family. The farmer who sold to Walmart because no one else would buy at that volume, he made the right choice for his land. Each small decision was reasonable. Each small decision made sense. And yet, together, those decisions built something that none of them chose alone. This is perhaps the strangest thing about large systems. No single person creates them. No single person creates them. No single person controls them. They grow from the sum of millions of ordinary choices. Reasonable choices, human choices, and once they are large enough, they begin to feel like nature, like weather, like something that simply exists, not something that was built, not something that could be built differently. But it was built by a man who drove himself to work, who walked his own floors, who counted every cent because he had grown up in a time when cents were all some people had. He believed that the lowest price was a gift to ordinary people, and in many ways he was not wrong. It is just that gifts sometimes have more than one side. Somewhere right now, in a store with wide aisles and bright lights, someone is standing in front of two similar things. Same shelf. One costs less. They reach for it. They do not think about Arkansas. They do not think about satellites or supply chains or empty town centers. They just go home, put the shopping away, and get on with their evening. The system hums quietly around them, as it always does. Leave a comment below. Tell me, when you choose something cheaper, do you ever think about where it came from, or do you just take it and move on? There is no wrong answer. I would love to know what you think. And that is our story for today, my friends. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it helped you learn something new. Keep listening, keep growing, and I will see you again very soon in our next story. Take care, my friends. Goodbye.